Hey everybody, it's Neil. How are you today? I hope everybody is having a great whatever day this is. Do we even know what day of the week it is? I think it's Wednesday. The only reason I know what day it is because I grabbed my vitamins from the right package. So, I hope everybody is having a good day out there and the world is treating you well. The sun came out here in New England today, so that was nice. I did appreciate that. Hello, Russell, Kurt, Zach, Lori. Hope's there. See, Hope's watching, so there's got to be hope, everybody. So there is hope. And Yvonne in Florida, I hope you are doing well down there as we all weather this. I just wanted to talk today and highlight some of the things that people have been asking me today and wanted to hear about, so I wanted to just touch base on things. First of all, again, unemployment is a real resource for your employees. If you're having to lay off employees or reduce hours, even part-timers, that's okay. Yvonne, you should. This is a great opportunity to get rid of some of your weak volunteers, but that's a whole separate conversation. But hopefully, well, I know the reality. Probably the bad ones are still showing up. But, you know, that is a resource for you. The federal legislation is going to pass that's going to have it not charge your accounts for those. But it is a short-term thing for people. So keep that in mind. There's also, they're all expediting those unemployment claims and getting people paid fast into the process very, very quickly so your employees aren't going without. And there's assistance, food assistance they're being very quick on as well for SNAP assistance to get things in. Again, communication with your people, all your stakeholders, is really important. And that includes your landlords and such. We talked about that a little bit yesterday, but even today, McDonald's is talking about, because McDonald's has a separate real estate arm that owns a lot of their properties, and they're talking about rent deferrals for their stores because they're hurting. Dine-in is part of their traffic, even though most of the traffic goes to the drive-thru on a given day anyways. The community aspect and the dining in a lot of states have banned dining in, so restaurants have had to close. I don't know that I'm the bomb, Jennifer, but I appreciate that. You know, they are having to do things. So even if McDonald's is looking at giving rent deferrals, you can count on your landlord working with you. You just have to communicate. Communicate with any of your stakeholders, your employees, your landlord, anybody else you owe money to. Which brings me to the other thing that people have been asking about. Is what do we do about consignor payouts? And this isn't, again, we're in a judgment-free zone here. Life happens, and this life that we're going through right now is huge. It's a totally different world that we're in right now. And not everybody has a fully funded separate consignor account. So if you don't, you're concerned about consignor payments, it's a big concern that's been lighting up my phone since last night, is that, again, be honest. And one of the ways that I like to do it, or an analogy I want to use for you guys, is who remembers It's a Wonderful Life, the movie? Okay, it's black and white, but I know it's a movie out there. It plays every Christmas because nobody owns the rights to it, so all the stations can run it for free. Everybody remember that movie, It's a Wonderful Life? George Bailey? Okay, well, one of the things in that, hey, Crystal from Colorado, how are you doing? I hope you and your family are doing well. I hope your husband's doing great. I haven't checked in with you in a while, and I really hope things are going great with your family. But George Bailey, back to my analogy here. George Bailey talks in that story. He ran the bank, him and his brother, I think, or his cousin. Okay, and they... running that bank, okay, when there was the run on the banks and their whole goal was to live to fight another day. And that's all this is about. We're just trying to survive. Everybody's in survival mode. People in survival mode personally. You're in survival mode for your business, for your family. And so part of survival mode is just that honesty. And so when people came in, when they opened the bank and they were just had enough money to pay some people, okay, so much that they could pay out, so they wanted to get to closing time so they survived another day, okay, is that came through honesty. That came through conversations when people they started out with, I want all my money, okay, when the bank opened on that day, okay? And they're like, we don't have the money here to pay everybody because your money is in Susie's house and Sally's. Well, in your business, at times you've made investments. You've made investments in making sure Susie gets paid that works for you, and Sally and Jim and everybody else. Okay, you've made investments in carrying that on, which has depleted your consignor fund. And so if you're honest with people with what you've done and how you're going to make good on it and how you're going to still be here to stand tomorrow, they will work with you. They just need to know. It's the unknown. That's what's creating the panic right now in the entire world. It's the unknown. If we knew when this time that we're in right now was going to end, the panic level would go way down. We don't know that yet. Each day that goes by, we get closer to knowing. That's what I'd like to say. So, I remain positive with that, but when it comes to consignor payouts and you don't have a fully funded separate account, it's okay. You don't have to hide. It's not a thing to be shameful about today or anything. It's just things happen in business, and just be honest with that, and you will get to the other side, just like George Bailey did in A Wonderful Life. There was a big conversation yesterday and on the board. The other question I've been getting a lot is about business interruption insurance. And I just want to pull up here because I can't be talking to you or videoing you on my phone and reading you. So I got this directly. Business interruption insurance is almost certainly not going to cover, and I want to read you exactly what I got here on that because I was able to get it. In short, it's and this is direct quote. I'm reading right from the insurance company. In short, it's unlikely there's any coverage remedy available through insurance for anybody. There is a virus bacteria exclusion, okay, that is standard throughout the industry. Insurance carriers tightened up after the SARS and other outbreaks. Basically, the trigger for coverage must be a covered cause of loss. And what that means, this would apply to business interruption insurance, even if a shutdown is mandated by a government authority. For there to be coverage, the root cause would have to be a covered loss, i.e. a fire. It would be a good example, a car driving through your store. Then he talked about employees, which we already know about. That basically only the people that have a workers' comp claim for insurance under that would be people that have a cause against their employer for contracting the disease. For example, the insurance carrier used the people that were at that Biogen conference, okay? And if they worked for Biogen and were at that conference for Biogen, they may have a cause under workers' comp to get paid versus an unemployment claim. Lastly, they said this is very difficult for all small businesses, and including them. They don't have coverage. Our insurance agent doesn't have coverage for this, and they have people losing. Everybody's losing. I mean, I talked to our window washer is freaking out because all his businesses are canceling, and it's a lot harder to get people back after that. Okay, so what are you doing to keep your business going after this? What are you doing to get your people? If I have to have a layoff here this week, which I probably will, especially a lot of my store staff, I'm trying to keep my warehouse staff still working if possible so that I can have inventory and so that we're ready when business picks back up. Although I was kind of surprised. We did better today than yesterday, so I'll take that, but it was sunny here in New England. Lastly, I talked yesterday about the SBA disaster loan assistance, and that is available even if you've been in an area that had a previous disaster. So if you've been in an area that had a hurricane or a flood and you previously had a disaster assistance loan, you are still eligible to get an additional loan even if that other loan has not been paid off yet. Additionally, I had a conversation today with the director, who I know, of the Massachusetts Small Business Administration. So he's the state director, well, actually the regional director. He covers multiple states in New England. Bob Nelson is one of the regional directors for the Small Business Administration, and I know him from other contacts that I've had with him in business and such. But he said the SBA is working extremely hard to fast track the disaster loan applications once you complete it, and it is a process. I mean, I probably spent a couple hours on it, getting all the forms and getting everything done on it, because I wanted to have that in just in case we need that. Okay, it's better to have it in. There's no prepayment penalty. Terms up to 30 years. It's better to have the application in there and not need it than to need it and not have it. But he says they're really trying to fast track that and get things turned around and to people within 2 weeks, which for a government agency is huge. That's very fast for a government agency, and so that's really terrific that they are trying to do that quickly. And they're also taking it very personally. So if there's any hiccups, Bob was like, you have a hiccup with this, something comes back or it declines for some reason because something was missing. He's like, let me know. I'm going to try to fix this. And we have resources if through the automated system something kicks it out. So he's like, don't take that as a no. Contact your local SBA office and talk to a real person, because they have many tools in their tool belt, arrows in their quivers in their arrow. I'm losing my analogies here, but you get my point, that there's another way to skin the cat. But yes, you need the governor to declare for your county. You can't apply until your area has been declared. So, but that is rapidly happening all over. There's several counties in our state. And the nice thing is like for Massachusetts, hasn't been declared as a state yet, okay, which is coming, okay. But because Connecticut and Rhode Island and New Hampshire did, okay, and got theirs done, the counties in the states next to them that are next to them will automatically get it. So even over the state lines. So that's how we did it in Massachusetts. But he's like, the Massachusetts declaration is coming either late today or tomorrow. The ideas what to project. Well, they'll approve you. I would take more, in the short run, because again, we don't know where this is going to end. I would take more versus less. Okay, if you're going for it, when they offer you your approval and terms, I would take more money rather than less. They do it based on operating expenses and to keep you operating. So I would definitely take more versus less money, because again, you can prepay it and not have any penalty. The loans are at 3.75. And that's the way it will stay. They're also, in this particular case, this is a very unusual, but these loans are also available for not-for-profits. So if a not-for-profit needs a loan, he said that's very important. So, Yvonne, this, if your agency needs this, it's an opportunity. And for the size of your agency, I mean, they have the loan amounts will go up to $2 million. So, again, it's something to keep in mind, regardless of the size of your business. And their whole goal is to make sure we're here on the other side. And low payment terms up to 30 years out is really to ensure that you survive and can build back up as business builds back up. But if everything's great and you can pay it off sooner, that's bonus for everybody involved, because I'm not encouraging everybody to go into debt forever, but I want us all to be here on the flip side of all this. It's unprecedented what we're dealing with, and that's the big thing with that. Those were the main topics I've had today. Were regarding that people had reached out to me for, so that I wanted to do. Again, reach out to me, message me, email me. I am happy to take any and all. I've been going all day, all night. That's what I do. I thrive on it. Anybody that's ever had me on site knows that. I think only Zach and Mary Ann Evans, outlasted me into the wee hours of the night. But hey, this is helping you guys brainstorm and come up with ideas is what I'm here for, and what I want to help do in any way that I can, even as I work on my own brainstorming here. I'm in my clothing store right now, and I've been working that today. Even if you already have, you missed that part, Michelle, even if you already have an SBA loan, you are eligible for a disaster loan. Okay, that does not affect your eligibility. So you can, the disaster is a totally separate arm, and they also said not to worry about funding them running out of money. A lot of different states or different agencies within states have come up with some small funds. Massachusetts has one where they have a $10 million business fund that they're trying to get some quick cash to businesses and stuff, although it's not that quick. But they're doing things, and the SBA doesn't have a cap on what they will be lending out. They're just trying to get out and get businesses. Again, they want us all standing here. I mean, Bob Nelson, with the regional director for the SBA, was extremely clear about that and wanted me to relay that to any business that I talk to, because that's what they're here for. And we're all in this together. Okay, I talk all the time about how we're not alone running this store, but we are all in this together. So it is shared, and you have to keep in mind, even the places that are really seeing a boom from this, okay? So, some of you have said, gee whiz, I wish I was a grocery store. I wish I was a pharmacy. Those places are seeing a boom today, but they will see a downside later on, okay, when the rush subsides and you realize you have a 3-year supply of canned goods. That canned good aisle is going to get a lot of dust in it. There's going to be issues with staffing in markets months from now when everything's back to normal, because they won't have that rush because people have stocked up so much on supplies. Pharmacies won't have that. Their sales look good today, but people are stocking up on that. Yes, Yvonne, you must have tuned me out there for a second. This is real important because not-for-profits can collect as part of this SBA disaster relief loan. It's a very unique time. They've never done that, and you are eligible as soon as your state's declared it a disaster area or your county. Okay, you can apply for that. And in your case, Yvonne, with the size of your agency beyond your store, okay, you can get loans up to $2 million, which could really help a not-for-profit agency such as yours with their cash flow. But we have a lot of not-for-profits in this could help in the short run. The SBA's whole thing is to get us to the other side, keep payrolls humming, keep as much of this all going. They know that we have operational expenses, rent, electricity, overhead, everything else. They get it. They're there for you. So absolutely, great question. So those are things. We're not alone running this store. Again, message me on Facebook, send me an email, Neil, Neil, at ECiStores.com. Tons of you have my phone number. Call me. I've been taking calls all days, all hours of the night. I'm happy to do that. I'm here to support you or just brainstorm with you or, quite honestly, be a shoulder for you. I got big shoulders, okay, and I am there for that, to be there for you and help us all through this. And if there's questions that I didn't cover here that you want me to cover tomorrow or another time, I'm happy to hop on anytime. That's what I'm doing this, because it's a quick way for me versus typing one of my long-winded replies to an email. So I can hop on and hit a lot of people. One of the things, a couple other just quick thoughts, we've done reduced hours for the short run and had a little bit better day today. Even had one family buy a dining room table today because now that they're stuck at home, they need someplace to all sit together. So instead of our normal hours 9 to 7, we've cut to 11 to 5. And quite honestly, I've been running a store today. Cassandra's been running a store. We're doing what we have to do. Your software vendors, they are a phenomenal resource and they are doing phenomenal things. So reach out to them. Okay. You're not going to have an Amazon site overnight, but you can have, all these partners, within the resale industry are there to help. It doesn't matter what software program you use them, and, they want to be used. They want to be reached out to. Please do that. They've been posting in the group here, so please do take those resources, do that, and know that I'm here for you in any way I can. I'm right there by your side. We're all going to get through this. We're going to get to the other side. Wherever it is, this isn't Star Trek. We can't say beam me up or beam me down to the other side, but we're going to get there together. A store owner can collect unemployment if they're an employee of the corporation. If you're a corporation and you paid in to unemployment, if you're an employee, okay, but then you have to also then not legitimately be working. So you can't be committing fraud. You don't want to be committing fraud as part of this. I've thought if things go on, I've certainly thought about that arrow because my wife and I are both employees of the corporation if things got really, really terrible down the road. But I don't think I'm optimistic that we're not going to get there. I try to keep a positive attitude on anything. Yes, Russell, thank you. Yes, please reach out to your software vendors. All of them are there. Russell's been great about posting. He almost thanked me today for working in a store and finding a new bug for him today that he hadn't found before. So it's usually he's thanks for helping in the store, but today I think he actually really appreciated the bug I found. So we all got that. We got this because we're all in this together. And don't be embarrassed with any question that you have. I've had several people reached out and I'm embarrassed to ask this, or I'm embarrassed to ask. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. We're all in this together. This is no judgment. We've all got stuff. We've all been through stuff, and we have this shared experience together. We're all doing this together. So reach out if you need me for anything. Reach out to your other fellow store owners. We're all going to do this. We're going to do it, and we're going to get to the other side. So you're not alone running this store. Have a great night, everybody.